The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 3,734, with 16 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 32 additional cases were reported and no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Bella Shaw. It's Thursday, August 5th. Sad news to report from the county's Department of Public Health, as officials shared that one of the reported 16 new deaths included a child under the age of 12 who had underlying health conditions. Throughout the pandemic, 6 children have died from COVID-19 in Los Angeles County, with 2 under the age of 12 and 4 between the ages of 12 to 17. The county's public health director, Dr. Barbara Ferrer, says protecting those not yet eligible for vaccinations, including children under 12, should be everyone's top priority. She went on to say with high levels of transmission in the community and more people needing care from healthcare providers, increasing vaccination rates among those who are eligible is the best way to protect children under the age of 12. Health officials also say with children back in school in less than a month and summer vacation still at its peak, the public should be vigilant and remain cautious by wearing masks when indoors. Gatherings should be limited to just a few families, and maintaining good hygiene by washing hands often, using hand sanitizer when soap and water are not available, and staying home when not feeling well are all ways to stay safe and vigilant. Well, with coronavirus case rates on the rise and the Delta variant circulating, Los Angeles city officials may consider asking residents to show proof of vaccination when visiting certain indoor settings, places like restaurants, bars, gyms, spas, movie theaters, concert venues, and sporting events are just some of the places listed in the motion that was introduced at Wednesday's Los Angeles City Council meeting. The motion calls for the Los Angeles City Attorney to prepare and present an ordinance and to report back on how businesses can comply with the measure. Now, if the motion passes, residents would need to have gotten at least 1 dose of the vaccine to enter these indoor public spaces. Some bars and restaurants have taken matters into their own hands and have already started requiring customers to show proof of vaccination or show a negative coronavirus test result if they're unvaccinated to enter. The Los Angeles City motion will be heard next at the Ad Hoc Committee on COVID-19 Recovery and Neighborhood Investment. Los Angeles County is hoping to lead by example and set a standard for slowing the spread as they join many private and public sectors that are now requiring its workforce to get the COVID-19 vaccine. In an executive order issued by Supervisor Hilda Solis, all county employees, regardless of the department they work in, will need to be fully vaccinated no later than October 1st, with exemptions for medical and religious purposes. Solis, who is the chair of the LA County Board of Supervisors, said with nearly 110,000 workers, the October deadline gives employees enough time to consult with their healthcare providers on the vaccine while moving expeditiously to protect their health. The county reported another 3,734 new cases, with more than 1,200 hospitalized for COVID-19. Public health officials say with the rapid spread of the Delta variant, daily cases have increased nearly 18-fold, and hospitalizations have also gone up by nearly 5-fold. Solis says she hopes other employers will follow suit. California Governor Gavin Newsom showed his support, tweeting that it was the right move. Speaking of Governor Newsom, his administration announced plans to address the homeless crisis in California by expanding the Project Room Key program. Through Home Key, an outgrowth of Project Room Key, the state buys hotels, motels, and unused properties, covers all construction and conversion costs, and then hands them over to cities or counties. The local municipalities then contract with service providers to find the funding to keep them running. Newsom plans to spend $5.8 billion of state and federal funds over the next 2 years to expand the program and create an estimated 42,000 additional housing units. When the program started in June of 2020, nearly 6,000 units were created, helping to provide shelter for 42,000 homeless people 65 and older and those susceptible to COVID-19. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, There are an estimated 161,000 unhoused Californians, more than a quarter of the nationwide total of 580,000. The number of Americans applying for unemployment dropped again this week. The U.S. Labor Department released its weekly report, which showed unemployment benefits fell by 14,000, down to 385,000 new claims for the week ending on July 31st. While it is trending down, the numbers still remain high by historic levels. Continuing unemployment claims also came in lower than expected, falling just under 3 million for the first time since mid-March 2020. So far, there are no signs that the resurgence of COVID-19 infections, mainly due to the highly infectious Delta variant, has not disrupted economic activity, with nearly half of the U.S. population fully vaccinated. As businesses have reopened to normal operating hours and customers have returned to shopping and dining out, the Labor Department's July job report, which will be released tomorrow, expects to show that nearly 850,000 new jobs have been added to the workforce last month. According to the report, companies are posting job openings at a record pace, with 9.2 million jobs just in May alone. Retail giant Target announced their support for employees wanting to further their education. Target officials say they will pay for the full cost of college for its more than 340,000 U.S.-based part-time and full-time employees in what they call the most comprehensive debt-free education assistance program available in the retail industry. The offer begins this fall, making all part-time and full-time Target employees eligible for company-paid tuition for hundreds of undergraduate degree and certificate programs. The deal also includes the cost of textbooks and course fees and other incidental educational expenses. The program could cost Target at least $200 million over the next 4 years. Target is able to provide this educational benefit thanks to the help of Guild Education, one of the nation's largest managers of upskilling and employee education assistance programs. Target officials say there are more than 40 schools, colleges, and universities to choose from that offer programs in business management and operations to IT, computer science, and much, much more. The news comes just a week after Walmart, the nation's largest private employer, announced they would also pay for 100% of college tuition for all of its part-time and full-time employees. Well, imagine a 4-day work week as the new norm. That's one Southern California lawmaker is hoping to achieve. Mark Takano, who represents California's 41st Congressional District, introduced Bill H.R. 4728 to the House Committee on Education and Labor, proposing the standard work week be reduced from 40 hours to 32 hours, lowering the maximum hour threshold for overtime compensation. He hopes to reduce the standard work week. As he says now, more than ever, people continue to work longer hours while their pay remains stagnant. Takano says he doesn't think the 5-day work week will go away, but rather on that 5th day, employees would get paid overtime, which could amount to a 10% pay increase for most workers. Currently, non-exempt employees get overtime for hours worked over the typical 40-hour work week. Takano says this bill would amend the Fair Labor Act, which was established in 1935, something that needs updating. Takano suggests that a shorter work week would benefit both employers and employees alike. According to pilot programs run by governments and businesses across the globe, results have shown increased productivity by up to 40%. Workers reported better work-life balance, along with needing to take less sick days and lowering child care expenses. This bill was endorsed by the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, or AFL-CIO, the Economic Policy Institute, the Service Employees International Union, and the United Food and Commercial Workers Union. A special ribbon-cutting ceremony took place today for Kids in Motion Pediatric Therapy, and we were there to capture the cheers.
13 years ago, I opened the doors and took a leap of faith with my dad's encouragement to go for it. I actually scratch my head every day, and just part of me wonders how it happened. It's because we take our roles seriously. We treat families really, really well. And when a decision needs to be made, and the first question our whole team knows to ask is, how would you want to be treated if you were in that family's shoes, right? What would you want the answer to that question to be? And so we really, as much as possible, as best we can, really try to lead from that standpoint.
The Torrance-based small business recently moved into a 10,600 square foot space in Del Amo Crossing on Torrance Boulevard and Madrona Avenue. The clinic sees about 900 weekly visits from newborn babies to 13-year-olds. The staff of 40 serves children both on-site, at schools across the South Bay, and even online. Its owner and director, Marcy Ree, says they proactively changed their business model to offer teletherapy during the pandemic. She's grateful they're able to continue expanding. This is the second time the clinic has moved to a larger space. Ree says it allows them to better meet the needs of the community and is excited to continue offering in-person services again at their newest location. Well, as we wrap up this week, be sure to watch Weekends in Torrance beginning Friday right here on Citi Cable. Tune in at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday for new episodes. On Friday, we're giving you a preview of what's to come for Torrance commuters as we go behind the fences at the Torrance Transit Park and Ride Regional Terminal. Then on Saturday, we'll give you a taste of what's on display for the Torrance Art Museum's latest exhibit called Ultra. It's a unique experience you won't want to miss. And on Sunday, we'll share with you how Torrance residents are joining forces with local law enforcement by celebrating National Night Out. Weekends in Torrance kicks off tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can find us on Spectrum Cable Channel 3, Frontier Fios Channel 31, streaming on our website, as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. In an effort to help families in need, Los Angeles County Supervisor Hilda Solis joined forces with the Department of Public Social Services and Toy Loan to host the annual backpack giveaway for low-income families with children ages 5 through 17. Nearly 500 backpacks filled with rulers, pens, pencils, notebooks, calculators, erasers, and more were given away this afternoon. This has been a tradition now for 5 years, with the county giving away more than 3,600 backpacks to date. Now, as a precaution to the ongoing pandemic, backpacks were placed into vehicles of families who drove up to the event. Families were required to pre-register. What a great way to show how community leaders care for one another, one backpack at a time. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday as Leslie Robbins brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.